City. This is the evening news on Love Television for Tuesday, August 16th. We'll get you started with a look at the stories making the headlines today. PUP senator says ruling on Section 53 was a win for human rights. New Minister of Police meets with police top brass. 2 men charged for weekend murder in Spanish Lookout, and Indian business community makes donation to the Love Foundation for hurricane relief efforts. In an interview last Friday, we brought you the comments of the former Attorney General Wilfred Ellerington, who spoke on the ruling made by the Chief Justice Kenneth Benjamin regarding Section 53. Ellerington told the media, quote, "I think that it should be appealed, not because I don't have confidence in the decision of the Chief Justice, but because substantial sections of the public are not happy with the decision. And I think that we should do all in our power to ventilate the matter as widely as possible, so that nobody could say or have any criticisms against the government. So if the matter is appealed to the Caribbean Court of Justice, which is the final court of appeal, I don't think anybody would then be in a position to fault the government for not doing all that we could." End of quote. The ruling on Section 53 has seen a lot of negativity being thrown about, particularly on social media. While there is no official comment on the matter from the main opposition People's United Party, the leader of the opposition did write on his timeline, quote, "I would just like to remind all of us that respect and tolerance must always prevail over bigotry and hate. If we respect one another, then we should have little room for bigotry and hate. I remind everyone of the words of Pope Francis, who said, quote, 'Who am I to judge?' End quote. It is not Belizean to hate. Bigotry is also not Belizean. We are a people who value peace and we love love. We who are PUP says the PUP to love. Let us together banish fear and ignorance and embrace diversity. Let us respect each other and never forget that it is our diversity which makes us strong and why we say that we are beautiful Belize." End of quote. His statements on Facebook has reportedly created some displeasure within the PUP, and as we understand it, that displeasure was hashed out in a 4-hour-long meeting yesterday, which included all 5 deputies and Briceño. The party leader, however, is not the only one from the PUP who issued a statement, as Senator Valerie Woods rose up in yesterday's Senate meeting to speak on the ruling on Section 53.
So I rise to give my recognition of that ruling. I rise to give that recognition because while it is of national importance to Belize, it is a significant victory for human rights, yes, in Belize, in the region, and indeed for human rights worldwide. Specifically because of this ruling made by Chief Justice Kenneth Benjamin, it states specifically the right not to be discriminated, the right to privacy, the right to be treated with dignity, no matter the race, religion, or sexual orientation or identity. So indeed, it is a good day for Belize, it's a good day for human rights. And while I recognize that there are so many in our society who do not support the ruling, who do not agree with the ruling for various reasons, I am certain that the honorable members of this chamber will join me in stating that notwithstanding those disagreements, at no time should we agree that there should be violence, discrimination, or hatred because.
Based on Briceño's comments, however, it is still not indicating whether the People's United Party is in support of the Section 53 ruling, as his statement only sought to condemn the hate being spewed because of the decision. Deputy Prime Minister Patrick Faber says that while he has his own personal opinion on the ruling on Section 53, his stance would be determined by what his constituents are on the matter. He didn't share with the media what that personal opinion is, but he did suggest the possibility of a referendum for an appeal of the decision.
I am still to get the opportunity to read over the judgment. I would really like to do that before I can comment. But I'll say that it's a decision for me, although I have my own private viewpoint. For me, it is a decision in terms of if I am asked to participate in some decision to appeal or not appeal the judgment. I would have to say that in that instance, I would then act as an agent for the people who I serve as opposed to giving my own personal view. How is it that I will determine what the views of those who I represent are is something I've given great consideration to over the last few days. Whether that means, I don't think that Facebook is a good, or social media is a good indicator, although that seems to be the court of public opinion in these days. But maybe some kind of survey, a check, moving around the constituency to see what the views of constituents are. Or maybe to the extent of us as a nation having a referendum to let the Belizean people decide how is it that they want to see us move. Not only to appeal or not appeal, and you know that the time is very tight. I think there is 21 days since the judgment. Friday. And so that doesn't give us the kind of time for a referendum. But maybe if it is that we decide to appeal, or whether we don't appeal, or even if we don't appeal, a referendum on whether or not Belizeans want to see our constitution amended to reflect something differently. This should be, I think it's such a big decision that the Belizean people should have a say, and that we should not have necessarily individual leaders and lawmakers impressing on the Belizean people their own personal and individual views.
The ruling handed down by the Chief Justice has basically made it legal for adults to engage in anal intercourse, or sodomy, as it is commonly referred to. One question posed by the Deputy Prime Minister Faber is whether or not that is a human right.
I think, though, that it would, as I said to one person who asked me, it would depend on if you really consider that a right, and that is a human right, and that is a question that I think is up in the air. I think like I said, I haven't read the judgment, but the understanding that I have gotten is that the Chief Justice's ruling has come because we have signed on to all of these agendas proclaiming it to be a right, or that I'm not sure we have signed on to all of them, but they exist out there, especially, and so as a result of that, it is that he is finding it contrary to the Constitution. Now, I'm not saying that in my view he is wrong in doing so. I am simply saying that the Constitution might be the Constitution now, and the Belizean people have a right to make changes to that Constitution through a process. That process is there, and it is very much a living process that you could see the participation of persons to make that change. It will require bipartisan moves, if that is the position that we get to. But at the end of the day, my position is simply that the people should decide what is it they want to see in all of this, as opposed to having private individuals impress on people their views. And I'm telling you, I do have my own personal view on this matter, which I will not share because I don't want to poison any later position that people might want to take.
Chief Justice Kenneth Benjamin handed down his judgment on August 10. Deadline to have an appeal filed is August 31. The new Minister of Police, Godwin Hulse, met with the top rank of the Belize Police Department yesterday. Assistant Commissioner of Police Chester Williams spoke about what the minister discussed in his first meeting.
The minister just outlined what are his plans for the department, and they are very good plans. And I think as a department, we must learn to respect our civilian managers. And we have a new minister now, and we must now charter the course that our minister wants us to go. At the end of the day, it's for the betterment of our organization. The minister will do have concerns about the crime situation, and he is working with us to see how we could address those issues. Like I said, he has his plans, and those plans are for us to be able to execute. And I think that the way he wants to take the department is the right direction. And from my perspective, he has my full support.
ACP Williams also spoke about the work ethics Minister Hulse expects, especially in view of the recent William Mason scandal.
Seeing that the minister is taking this department right after the whole scandals with William Mason, does the minister have a plan to alienate the department from those kinds of scandals reoccurring?
Well, the minister spoke at length about the issue of ethics, and those of you who know Mr. Hulse know the type of person he is. He's a person who believes in doing things the right way. He believes in policies and so forth. So I am sure that issues like those will be addressed by him.
Last week, Love News spoke with the Attorney General Vanessa Retreat, asking for her views on the entire Mason saga and the allegations against her colleagues in government. Retreat, who was just sworn in as a senator yesterday, and a government minister responded to us saying that the media is flogging a dead horse. There is a wide speculation that the top brass of the police department may be covering up evidence in the Mason investigation. And so, with a new minister at the helm of the department, we asked him, Godwin Hulse, to weigh in on the Attorney General's position.
Well, I don't know what flagged enough means. I mean, that is her view. I have an issue, quite frankly, with we're a small country. Things go to a jury. In many other jurisdictions, the jury has never heard of the case before them. In Belize, that is not the case. And sometimes I'm concerned that a lot of these things are being tried in the public, is being tried on social media, and people form opinions, and those opinions are one way or another. That is a concern I do have.
With Hulse now at the helm, he did make assurances of a proper investigation being carried out.
Well, all of those things are investigative matters, but just let's stick with the case. Here's a man who's in jail. He's charged with murder. I know he's charged with kidnapping, I understand. The Director of Public Prosecutions will prosecute those in the Supreme Court. There'll be a jury, I think, unless it goes to trial without a jury. And a judgment will be made. I mean, that is already outside of the hands of the police to that extent. Other matters investigated in this case depends on evidence that comes forward and that sort of thing. At this point in time, I can only say this minister, nor my team, I will ensure is involved in any kind of cover-up.
The DPP has yet to see the surveillance footage, which we were told by the minister would have been forwarded to her. Neither has she seen absolutely any information in relation to this case.
I can't answer that, Marisol. I don't know what she has seen or hasn't seen. I haven't spoken with her.
But you agree that she should be kept abreast every step of the way?
Well, she's prosecuting, so obviously with time, or if it hasn't happened already, she will have to have all the information.
On the note of a proper investigation into the murder of Pastor Llewellyn Lucas, one of the burning questions by the media concerns the officer who has been placed in charge of the case. Hulse says he will be looking into that issue before making any speculations. Holly Vasquez is the officer leading the Lucas homicide investigation. His credibility has been brought into question following charges of conspiracy to commit robbery, which he faced about 6 years ago when he was attached to the Joint Intelligence Unit. Today, the media spoke to Assistant Commissioner of Police Chester Williams on the decision to have Vasquez lead the Mason investigation. Williams stated that the decision was made by the Commissioner of the Police and he has faith in his choice.
That's a matter for the Commissioner to answer. From my perspective, I have no issue with it. I will work with the investigator, I will guide him, and we must understand that we should always be in a position to train our people. If we continue to rely on those who we know can do it, then when those persons leave us, then where do we live? Where are we? Where will we find ourselves? So it's an opportunity for him to get that level of expertise in terms of dealing with cases like this. Like I said, I will be there to guide him through each and every stage of the investigation.
CP Williams admitted that the investigating officer has limited experience in the field, but that he believes he can do the job.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have the experience, but he will be gaining experience from it. So he has some level of experience, but experience is something that is continuous. So the more cases you deal with, the greater you become at it, and therefore you have better experience.
Yesterday, we told you of the SUV found partially submerged in the sea near the Marine Parade. The white 2013 Toyota Prado was found to be that of Deputy Prime Minister Patrick Faber, who told the media that the vehicle was stolen from a friend's house on the George Price Highway on Sunday evening. Senior Superintendent Lyndon Flowers is the lead investigator on the case, and in speaking with Love News this morning, he made an appeal to the public to come forth with any information that can lead to an arrest. Flowers says they have questioned the minister's friend on the matter.
That investigation is ongoing. Yes, I am the head in that investigation.
Has Minister Faber's friend, whose vehicle was entrusted to, has she been questioned as yet?
Yes, the individual has been interviewed already. The investigation continues.
Is there any kind of surveillance footage in that area?
We are in, and I've put in a team together to do canvassing of the entire area from the 4 miles area into where the vehicle was to see if we can establish who was driving the vehicle, what kind of maneuvers was going on over those 4.5 miles of journey. A little difficulty has been worked out, but we are canvassing every possible route to get to where we are. So one route, it was that the vehicle came into the barracks from around Wilson Street area, and there were individuals out at the Elements nightclub and persons who were doing their Sunday afternoon on the barracks. If there is anybody out there who has any information that is helpful for us, they can reach me at the Queen Street Police Station compound on the 3rd floor. It is Senior Superintendent Lyndon Flowers, or can make a call to 911, or I can give my cell number, which is 605-0407 for positive assistance in this investigation. We need to find out and get to the bottom of this.
The vehicle was extracted from the sea just before 9 o'clock on Sunday night. Minister Faber says he is looking to see if it can be fixed with the dealers at Belize Diesel. The Love Foundation is teaming up with a number of partners to assist in the ongoing relief efforts to victims of Hurricane Earl. Last week, the foundation received a substantial donation from the Belize Indian Merchants Association at the Corozal Free Zone. On hand to deliver the donation to the CEO of the Love Foundation, Dr. Rene Villanueva, was the CEO of the Corozal Free Zone, Raul Rosado.
Let me say that we are saddened when we see the images of the damages caused by Hurricane Earl. And our hearts and our prayers go to those people who got affected personally. This is a time when we all need to come together as one, as people, as one country. And I want to first thank members of BIMA, the Belize Indian Merchants Association, the investors and members of the Corozal Free Zone Chamber of Commerce, who have come together as a social responsibility and be able to put together some hurricane relief for these guys. I think at this time it is very important that we all contribute in any way, whether it's small, whether it be large. And I want to officially hand over to the Love Foundation these hurricane reliefs, which I understand the Love Foundation will do its job in distributing to all those who were affected by this hurricane. So Chief, on behalf of all these people, BIMA, the Corozal Free Zone Chamber of Commerce and the investor, I want to officially hand over all this hurricane relief to your foundation.
And thank you so much, Mr. CEO, and we are happy to accept these on behalf of the beneficiaries, who are the people who were affected by Hurricane Earl. And the Love Foundation will do its utmost best in distributing these and make sure that the needy get what they can get or what they need to get.
Love News also spoke with Vijay Punjabi of the Belize Indian Merchants Association, who explained why they saw it necessary to become involved in the drive.
All the Indian Merchants Associations, we are handing over a check of $3,000. Please accept our.
Okay, I'm very happy to accept this check on behalf of the Belize Indian Merchant Association.
Thank you.
Which will go towards relief of the hurricane victims.
When we saw the images, like how our CEO was mentioning of the hurricane and all the destruction that it has done, the Indian Merchant Association took it upon itself to go around and ask all the investors personally to contribute towards this. And I must say that whether it being Mexican, Indian, Belizean, all the investors as a unit very open-heartedly came up, and as you can see, we have a whole lot of different items from different people, and I don't think anybody even thought twice before opening up their hearts and donating generously to this, and this is the kind of unity that we have and we want to keep, and we are often into contributing, of course, through Mr. Kenny and other foundations. But it's always a pleasure to be a part of Love Foundation and give so much and probably receive so much back, receive so much love back from the community. You see, so that's what is important, and I hope we can continue doing this for the future. And the Indian Merchant Association will always be there for these purposes.
The relief effort spearheaded by the Love Foundation continues this weekend. Tonight, there is a disturbing video that was sent to us that shows an encounter between two police officers and a female civilian. In the video, it shows a woman in a yellow and black dress in distress after the police took her bicycle and flung it into the canal. The woman was reportedly riding her bicycle contrary to traffic, and as a result, she was stopped by the officers.
Watch out, boss. Watch out. I have all rights for video. That's the police brutality. You don't have no right for dash on nobody bike. No matter what they do, you don't have no right for dash on nobody bike. I post this, I carry this to the ombudsman. Internal affairs. You can't dash your people bike in a drain like you know crazy. No dash it down, miss. No dash it down. They could charge you. No dash it down. You could charge she. I know the right. We know the laws, miss. We know dopey. Transport people. That's the only thing police could do in a Belize, chance people, dash people back in a drain. Especially there in W. I have all right to do this. All right. You charge me, boss? You charge me for my rights? That's what the lady do, mommy? That's what the lady do? You dash the lady bike in a drain, not true?
The incident was videoed by a passerby and subsequently sent to our news desk. Vladimir Bartolo Shish and Carlos Antonio Rodriguez Mendez were charged late yesterday evening by San Ignacio police with murder. The charge against the two men is a result of the Sunday morning murder of 37-year-old Ever Miranda of the Duck Run 2 community resident. The preliminary findings into what led to the fatal injuries inflicted upon Miranda are yet to be released by the police. Love News understands that Miranda was with a group of friends socializing in Unitedville Village, Coyote District, when they were followed by a group of men who inflicted a chop wound to Miranda and a gunshot wound to the chest. Some days ago, well-known chef Ainsley Castro was robbed at gunpoint. Robbers took an amount of cash from him and cell phones and jewelry from his employees. Yesterday, the police made an arrest in connection with that robbery. Assistant Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, Regional Commander for Eastern Division South, spoke about the arrest and how it was that by tracking a cell phone, they were able to find the robbers.
After Chef Ainsley made his report, the police had been very much investigating. We have been out there trying to see how we could locate those persons who were involved, and over the weekend we were fortunate based on information we had received. And again, I want to thank the public for having that trust and confidence in us, in feeding us with information, and the information has been very helpful. We have been very successful because of the public, and I must say a special thank you to those persons who continue to have that trust and confidence in us to be able to effectively police our area. And yes, we managed to catch, I think, 3 persons, and those persons, one of them had the phone, which was one of the phones that was stolen in the robbery. He had a code on it, which means that he shows that he has possession and everything. And based on that, we were able to move forward. We did identification parade, and they were identified, and we're still looking for, I think, 2 more persons.
Today, 18-year-old Lamar Lamb, a resident of Pelican Street Extension, was charged with robbery when he appeared before Senior Magistrate Sharon Fraser. Lamb pled not guilty to the charge. He was remanded into custody until September 8th. Lamb and 2 others, 21-year-old Kareem Betancourt and 20-year-old Jermaine Wagner, were charged with handling stolen goods in connection with the robbery. Only Wagner was offered bail. Betancourt was remanded into custody until September 8. Wagner was released on a bail of $600. The robbery occurred around 1:30 last Friday afternoon. Castro reported to the police that while he was at his place of business located on LaCroix Boulevard, 3 male persons entered, one of them armed with a firearm. He said the gunman held him up at gunpoint while the other 2 proceeded to steal $3,800 in cash, his gold chain valued at $1,000, his touch-screen cellular phone, and his wallet, which contained 2 ATM cards, his social security card, and his driver's license. Yesterday, we told you of the immigration-initiated operation that was held at the country's western border with Guatemala as a step towards enforcing the laws on work permits and the possession of proper documentations to cross into Belize. As we told you, over 150 persons were questioned, and about a dozen were found without work permits. Immigration Minister Godwin Hall spoke of the operation.
Yes, the police and immigration undertook an exercise this morning because there have been lots of people streaming across the border, we understand, to come to work. And you can't work in this country as a foreigner without a work permit. As simple as that. Well, the Guatemalans can't demonstrate in Belize. Nobody can tell them what to do or not to in their country. We do what we do in our country.
There have been some reports reaching our news desks that there are plans for a demonstration by Guatemalans on this matter. Immigration Minister, however, says he is not fazed by the reports of the demonstration or protests.
If we were aware of people coming to work without work permits, we would have dealt with it a long time ago. It's no question that you cannot work and be in this country legally, that's for sure.
They are saying, one person we spoke with said that they do try to apply, but it appears that there's a lot of red tape. They don't end up getting their work permits.
But remember that work permits are a privilege, it's not a right. You come to this country to work when you can't find a Belizean national to do the work. There's a process. You apply, the prospective employer applies to the Department of Labor. He or she says why he needs this person. He has to advertise in a local newspaper for a period of time to try to get a Belizean. It is only when that condition cannot be satisfied, then the department issues the work permit. Over the years and during the period of time that I was Minister of Labor, people want to bring people to sweep. People want to bring people to cut grass. People want to bring people to cook. all sorts of things. And yes, in the case of cooks, for example, I can understand in some of the flashy high-class restaurant, you'll say, well, you need some expert. But Lord, man, people to wash up dishes, and we've seen all those ridiculous kinds of applications, you know. And there have even been people who say, oh, we don't want to hire nobody, we want our people. Who on earth is your people? I will say categorically, if you became, and I used to say it when I was swearing in people as nationals, I said it over and over, when you become a Belizean citizen, we are now your people. You have joined our family. So don't come back and tell me, well, I want to bring my people. Oh no, you have now joined my family and this is your.
Yesterday in our initial report on the border situation, we mentioned that Running W Brand Meats was one of the companies that hires Guatemalans. We were corrected by Running W's management today as they explained that 65 employees are Belizean and that 2 of those 65 live in Melchor de Mencos with their wives and children. The wife of William Mason is out on bail as at yesterday, as we told you that we had reported. Our colleague Daniel Ortiz at Channel 7 had gotten the opportunity to speak with her as she exited the courtroom in Belize City. Here's how that conversation went.
Thankfully, everyone there treated me really well. It's something I never dreamed of would ever happen to me, and it happened. So I'm here, and I'm very thankful today that I'm being released on bail. And I look forward to clearing my name in the near future and having my fair day in trial.
Have you ever been accused of anything where you're from?
Nope. I'm about as clean and squeaky clean as they come. So again, a real shock. Completely caught me off guard. And as of the day of the crime, I had no idea what was going on. And when I was asked to come in and answer some questions, I was always willing to do that. I have nothing to hide. So I just do what's right. And in the end, I've been granted bail today, and I'm very thankful for that.
You know, I may be pushing it, but I have to ask. You're pushing it. Your husband has been called all these things: con man, kidnapper, extortionist, murderer. Tell us about the man you know, because the one we think we know is not a very nice guy.
Yeah, the man that I know is not the man that is being portrayed. I've been with him for a number of years, and it all started with some online bullying, to be honest with you, and we all know what can happen with that. All of the people that have been associated with my husband, they also know he's an amazing man. He's got an amazing energy. He's a charismatic. He's ambitious. He would help anybody, and he has. And I don't just mean, I mean anybody that needs help. And it's just so sad to watch what's happened and how people have turned their back. And I understand people have to distance themselves from him, but that is not the man that is being portrayed. And I trust that that will come out one day.
You want to ask if he's capable of cutting off Pastor Lucas' head?
Is he capable of that?
Of course not. He had a good relationship with Pastor Lou. I don't understand what possibly could have happened. And you know, it will be good. We will all find out one day. I haven't even been able to speak to my husband other than very briefly when we were passing through the court. But I look forward to him also clearing his name, both of us. And we came to Belize as investors and to do a lot of really great things. We love this country. We decided we wanted to make this our home. And that still stands. We just have some major obstacles to go over, and those people that know my husband know that what's being portrayed, that's not who he is.
As a part of its mission, a community group in Dangriga takes time out to recognize outstanding Belizeans. Correspondent Harry Azu has more in this report.
Award Committee from Dangriga continues to recognize Belizeans for their outstanding contribution and services that enhance the growth and development of Belize. Several persons who were described as went above and beyond the call of duty were recently awarded. President of the committee, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Robert Mariano, spoke with Love News.
Special Award Committee recognized outstanding Belizeans who contribute to to the development of their community through volunteer service on a weekly basis. Our community does selection via recommendation made from Belizeans from all over the country. We had so far awarded several outstanding Belizeans, namely Ms. Gwen Gonzalez, Michelle Irvins from Women Development Officer, John Nunes, teacher in Punta Gorda, Pastor Ann Anthony Young, founder of Parents Against Drunk Drivers, Pulchera Tiul, Woman Development, Mr. Basilio Zabani, businessman, Rodney Nunes, activist. This week, our honoree is a Mecca in the media of Belize, Dr. Rene Villanueva Sr., owner, manager of Love FM. The Special Award Committee is therefore pleased to award this outstanding citizen for his contribution to community and country. It is impossible to refute that Dr. Villanueva is a household name and probably the most popular media personality in Belize. Love FM provides a countrywide service which keeps the nation of Belize informed and educated issue in Belize and beyond. None will forget the recent Hurricane Earl. Dr. Villanueva and his team of dedicated reporters kept the nation informed every step of the way. In the aftermath of the system, Love Foundation became actively engaged in organizing relief efforts. In recognition of his valuable service to community and country, the Special Award Committee is honored to express its appreciation to Dr. Rene Villanueva for his outstanding contribution by presenting a plaque to him on Friday of this week.
The committee is also comprised of Dana Martinez, who is a teacher, Gwen Nunes Gonzalez, educator, Michelle Irvin, social worker, and Francis Flores, former counselor. The plaques that are being given out to the awardees are being sponsored by Elite Promo. Reporting for Love News from Dangriga, I'm Harry Arzu.
United States gymnast Simone Biles is at the Olympics in Rio and is expected to take the gold home. A little known fact about Biles is that her adoptive mother, Nellie, is from Belize. Biles has continuously credited her success to her adoptive parents. A reporter from international media house CNN is in Belize finding out what it is that is so special about Simone Biles' adoptive country. Elwin Lopez, who has worked with CNN for 5 years, spoke with Love News about what they have been finding out about our jewel.
We are here currently so that we can shine some light on what Belize means to people here and also what Simone Biles means to Belize. Well, we found that there was a lot of excitement around Simone. A lot of people are just excited that she is shining a light on Belize, and it means a lot to people here. So we've just kind of been to Nellie's house, and we met with the cousin. And so far what we've seen has been amazing. It's been an amazing experience, but we haven't had a lot of time to actually, go outside and meet a lot of Belizeans. But we hope to do that before we leave. I've always wanted to visit Belize because I think that there's so much culture here, and it's such an interesting country to me. So I was very excited to come here, and when they told me Belize, I was like, it's definitely been on my list to come here, so I'm glad we got the chance to do so.
Lopez and CNN's cameraman leave tomorrow. 12 students who are looking to advance to another class in various schools on the north side of Belize City were selected and assigned a police officer as their mentor and supporter. It is a community policing initiative launched this morning via a brief ceremony in the police's canteen on Queen Street. Commanding the Eastern Division North is Assistant Commissioner of Police Desiree Phillips.
This is something that we have been planning from early May. And so even before school closed, we already did a survey and we had our names. We're shopping for basic school supplies, footwear, school bags that the kids are in need of. The minute we got our name of the student, we then reached out to the parent, the child, sat with them and found out what are their basic school needs to have them return to school. So that gave us an idea of what each child needs. Now the funding will be coming from us police officers. Our police officers decided that they will take on the costing to ensure that these kids get in the shopping what they really need to help them to get back to school.
8-year-old Orlando Cho is looking forward to going into Standard 1 at St. Mary's School. He says his favorite subject in school is reading, and he aspires to be a police officer. We caught up with this little boy when he was done with the first phase of shopping at A&R store on the Philip Goldson Highway.
Everything that we for boys.
Everything like what?
Like rulers and stuff, and books, and color, ring, a pencil, and folders, and things, even a watch too.
And how you feel now that you got your stuff for school?
Happy.
Happy?
Yeah.
And you want to study hard when you start school?
Yes. Hard.
You promise?
Yes, I promise. And then I'm going to be a police for catch bad guys and throw them in a jail.
Also taking part in the initiative is Assistant Superintendent of Police Christopher Noble, who says the engagement is a positive one and is being tweaked as they go along. Commander Phillips says today's outing with the 12 students is just the beginning of a long-term friendship.
Not only mentoring and fostering, but developing and sustaining a bond, not only with this child, but with the family, the siblings. It has to do also with going to the schools and checking up on the child, even attend their parent-teachers meeting, take them out on trips. For some of us who also have children, we're also trying to create a bond with our children and this child and this family. So it's like it will end up being like extended families.
Other officers who are taking monies out of their income to purchase school supplies for these children are Assistant Commissioner of Police Desiree Phillips, Senior Superintendent Lyndon Flowers, Superintendent Hilberto Romero, Assistant Superintendent of Police A. Patillo, Inspector Martha Rise, Inspector J. Stephens, Sergeant J. Greenidge, Corporal A. Mena, and Corporal R. Alvarez. It is back to school season, and for many, it is one of the most hectic times of the year. Love News went out to the streets to ask parents how they are handling the back to school expenses.
As a parents, we have to get ready for this time. This is normal. So we work for our kids and we have to save money for this time. So when this time comes, if we do our job, that is get the money for this time, we won't feel it so hard.
But what is the most expensive item?
The books. I buy for my daughter. She's in Standard 6.
Textbooks?
The school books, like mathematics and dictionary.
But it is going well because of the sales. Angela's person, the different businesses have placed, so it's going well.
What is the most expensive item on the list right now?
Footwear it's a bit expensive because you want to buy a shoe that will last. Some of the shoes, as they get wet, they burst very quickly, so we're looking at the brand and the material. Footwear is a bit expensive.
We need to buy books and others, bags, and for the school registration and all those, because right now it is hard to get fund to pay back the finance to your school and within the children there.
Especially where I come from the southern part, things are very relatively expensive as opposed to here. Books are the most expensive, apart from pencils and those things. But books are most textbooks and also exercise books.
Most of the things are expensive. Yeah, I hardly see certain things with low price. Usually when I come back to school, you would expect them to be in a lower price, But I see the same price as usual. The textbook, like example, the UB or the high school books, those are the expensive ones.
Textbooks are what parents are finding most difficult to finance this year. During the time when tensions with Guatemala reached a heightened point, many Belizeans demanded a boycott of Guatemalan goods and advised Belizeans to keep these monies at home and desist from going to the neighboring town of Melchor for back-to-school shopping. Did the Guatemalan boycott have any impact? Love News took to the streets to ask people about their back-to-school shopping.
Did you go to Melchor to buy uniform this year, or you bought them here?
No, I bought a cloth here, and then somebody's sewing them for me here.
Do you do that every year?
Yes. Yeah, I buy everything here in Belize.
And I heard about all the dangers of going across the border, so I decided to stay home and save money as well because of the sales, the discount, sorry.
Is that something you do every year or in particular?
Just this year. Last year we went to Melchor, and then after hearing about all the border disputes and whatnot, I said it's better for me to stay at home. Keep the money here.
Uniforms, we buy them here in Belize. There are certain items, personally I don't go to Melchor. Chetumal, yes, but not to Melchor.
Usually it's much cheaper for go across, so like undershirt, shirt, pants, socks, everything, uniform come from across there. It's much cheaper.
Most people we spoke with decided to buy their uniform material in Belize. Yellow ginger was first used as a dye and then later for its medicinal properties. In southern Belize, a yellow ginger turmeric enterprise was officially opened yesterday. We joined Paul Mahong for the details.
Ceremony to mark the opening of a yellow ginger turmeric enterprise for local and export market was held yesterday in Punta Gorda. The Yellow Ginger Turmeric Enterprise here is a family-owned business created by Umida Switlow and her daughter Nerina Switlow of Canada. The enterprise is operated under the name Naledo Belize Limited with its Chief Executive Officer Umida Switlow, who gave opening remarks.
I first came to Belize as an advisor with CUSO International, a Canadian agency, to the Department of Youth Services. In Toledo, I saw a wonderful quality of yellow ginger, turmeric it's called, growing, and so many opportunities for farmers and youth to work together. The newly founded company, Naledo Limited, Belize Limited, aims to help Toledo farmers earn a sustainable income, and we employ youth, and to improve the health of people worldwide with the wonderful yellow ginger grown in Belize. We want to be sustainable and respect the culture and the environment. For the first time, Belize will be exporting turmeric to Canada as a new product called Truly Turmeric. Truly Turmeric is a whole root, wild-crafted yellow ginger paste that can be used for many health purposes, including as an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It can be used for cooking, smoothies, teas, and as a healing paste. Truly Turmeric is almost 100% Belizean, as it consists of local products such as coconut oil, fresh lime juice, organically grown yellow ginger, and is made by an all-Belizean youth team. The only imported ingredient is sea salt.
Umida expressed gratitude to those who supported the establishment of the turmeric enterprise in Punta Gorda.
We would like to thank, first of all, the Department of Youth Services, Mrs. Mackenzie, for their commitment to youth and working with us, the Ministry of Agriculture, especially Mr. El Puche, for supporting the vision of Naledo and showcasing us at the Agric Show, Belize Marketing and Development Corporation for supporting our youth, Mayor and Council of Punta Gorda. We must thank Miss Marie Sharp for sharing her expertise with us and caring about youth employment. We begin our exports soon, and we hope that we will all benefit in Belize from this new industry.
Umida Switlow of Punta Gorda Yellow Ginger Enterprise. A guest speaker at the opening of Naledo Belize Limited was Chief Agricultural Officer Roberto Harrison. Chief Agricultural Officer Roberto Harrison thereafter cut the ribbon at the front entrance to mark the official opening of Naledo Belize Limited Yellow Ginger Turmeric Enterprise in Toledo. Reporting for Love News, Paul Mahone, Punta Gorda.
The Eastern Division South Police held the closing of their summer program along with BEL today. The summer program went on for 2 weeks and saw children from across Belize City enjoy activities prepared by the police from Precinct 2. Coordinator of the Corps, Inspector Brent Hamilton, spoke about the program.
What we have here was a summer program which was sponsored by the BL
And the summer program was to assist with youths in Southside, Belize City, any youth, right? So we had different youths that was from cadets and youths from all over that came, even youths that had some physical challenge we had at the program. The idea of the program was to, in the morning we do worship, we did some classes with the great summer programs, right? We did, we have NGOs came in from the NDAC who came to talk about drugs and the harms and effect of drugs. We did educational trip and we did sports in the afternoon. I believe a summer camp should have a diversity of all these things to complete a person when it comes to the full growth of being a young person. You know?
Assistant Commissioner of Police Chester Williams stated that enhancing the lives of the children is the main objective of all the summer programs that they have held.
Southside Belize City is all about community policing and about our children. We are pretty much interesting to ensure that every child on Southside Belize City get a fair chance in life. And over the summer, we have been extremely busy. Our community policing officers have been on the go from the beginning of the summer, and we will continue until the last day of the summer and even after. We have ensured that over the summer we keep our young people busy through summer programs. Sometimes we have 3 summer programs running at the same time. And when they're finished, we are into others. And I must say that we're very grateful to the corporate citizens who have been there to assist us. The getting to know your country was good. We got great support. This summer program sponsored by BEL, again, great support.
11-year-old Destiny Greenidge spoke with us about what she learned at the camp.
Went good for me so far because we learned how to sportsmanship, how to work with each other. So I had a lot of fun. We learned, like me, I didn't like any sports, so now I like to play basketball, volleyball, football. Yes, ma'am, I think I will do it next year because it's a lot of fun.
Our thought conditioner for today is from Martin Luther King Jr. It reads, quote, "Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love." End of quote. This has been the Evening News on Love Television, and we invite you to log on to our website at www.lovefm.com for transcripts of our news stories. We thank you for joining us. With the Evening News, I am Taryn Butcher.